All right. Okay, so a very warm evening to every one of us. And I want to thank Mrs. Ayo for that powerful introduction. And I want to believe that we are all ready for the training. Please, I need a response from at least 2 to 3 persons. I'm ready for the training. Kindly use the message section, the chat box. Let me see how many people are actually ready for the training. Okay. I am ready, sir. Okay. Thank you very much. So how many of us are actually joining with our laptops? Please, if you are joining with your laptop, kindly also indicate through the chat box. Okay. Yes, I'm with you. How many of us are joining with our laptops? I am joining with my laptop. That is Dominic Okoro. Thank you very much. Any other person joining with his or her laptop? Okay, Prince Jackson. I am joining with my laptop. Thank you very much. Okay, Cynthia. I am joining with my laptop. My system is down for now. No problem. All right, so I want to sincerely welcome every one of us one more time before we could start the training. Just before I commence the training, I want to use this opportunity uh, to reiterate the rules and the procedures for an online training like this. I know some of us, this is our first time of attending virtual training. Now, I believe Ms. Ayo must have highlighted that. Please, as I continue to teach, peradventure you are not hearing, kindly use the message. Someone will be there to collate your messages. And then there is a React icon for those of us that are familiar with Zoom, where you can actually raise up your hand. So once I see that, I will now hold my break. But if none of such sign comes in, then I will assume that we are all good. Okay? All right. So without wasting our time, uh, we all know why we are here. The reason why we are here tonight is for us to uh, learn how to develop professional websites using a content management system, which is called the WordPress. Uh, I want to say this because I know that some of us that are privileged to join this training session are currently undergoing training on the coding method. And I want to say that this training does not in any way contradict the programming way of developing website. Instead, it stands as an alternative, a service tool that makes your work faster. And when you are searching for a freelancing job, this is the best platform. But when you are searching for enterprise jobs like company that want you to be their programmer, they may not allow you to use WordPress. So let's get it right. So I'm saying this not for you to be discouraged with the coding, because WordPress is actually going to mess you up. It's going to mess you up. So that is why I'm quickly chipping in this so that you don't get discouraged. So that somebody will not slap himself or herself that why have I been learning the manual? Why did they not just show me this and start making my money? So that is why I'm giving us this information. Please, you should be disciplined enough to differentiate their goals and their objectives. All right. Now, WP introduction. Tonight, my assignment is very simple. Being the first meeting, I'll try as much as possible to work with a speed that will carry almost everyone along, if possible. In case you are having network issue, keep trying instead of distracting others. Just keep trying. We are recording the class for every participant. You have access to the entire video, please. But just make sure that you don't time out. Now, we are going to start with what is WordPress? What is WordPress? So WordPress is a powerful content management system, as abbreviated in my bracket, CMS, that allows you to create and manage websites with ease. The emphasis here is what? With ease, with ease. So which means that the reason why developers patronize this method is because they want to make their work easier. We live in a world whereby AI is taking over. So WordPress is one of the AI version of web building system that have been around for a while. So we need to see it from that perspective. Now, when we say content management system, what does that mean? A content management system means is a kind of pre-designed website, or is a system where someone somewhere have already developed the entire website for you and describe it as theme and templates. So what we are doing is simply buying a whole developed house and using it for your purpose. A practical example is real estate. You know, you have people that are selling virgin land that nobody have built anything. In other words, when you purchase such land, you start building from the scratch. You can look at the time it will take you to fully build that house to the level occupant can go in. While there are some other persons that consider buying virgin line or empty line as wasting of time, provided they have the funds. So they can just go for already built house and purchase it and pack in immediately. That is a simple logic behind WordPress and the normal programming you are learning. So the normal programming is where you learn programming. Is where you learn how to write code, how to program instruction for the computer to adhere to. Why WordPress is where you are buying already made themes and templates and customizing them to suit your tastes. For example, the word theme here means the structure of the website. Now, if I may just take us to the coding aspect, you define your website structure with HTML, but in WordPress, there are plugins. These plugins, they are called pieces of software. They are software that have been created to increase your website functionality. They are software that has been designed to increase the function of your website. So for us here, anytime we want to perform the role of HTML and CSS, we just simply consult a plugin called Elementor or Page Layer to define the website structure. So that structure that you are inheriting, it is called theme. Now, the property inside the house you purchase, they are called the templates. So that is why we are saying that
using WordPress to develop website, you are simply leveraging on buying theme and templates. That is buying structure and content inside the structure. So what you actually register for is for you to learn how to install it in your server once you have hosted, and then learn how to customize it to suit any type of website you want to build. Statistics have proven 99% websites you see out there, they are built with WordPress or related to WordPress. Most of the scripts you see out there, they are WordPress customized scripts to fit a different niche. So I believe with this, I have been able to picture, to take or to give all the overview of what WordPress as one of the most used platforms for developing websites. Second. Now, quickly, for me to start with WordPress, what am I expected to put in place? That will take us to what is web hosting. Now, I want us to pay attention here. There are actually two ways you can actually install WordPress. So which means that before you can actually use WordPress to build any type of website, you need to first of all consider your installation method. You need to ask yourself this question: what type of installation do I want to use to install the WordPress? We have what we call the local server installation, and then we have the remote server installation. The local server installation is where you download XAMPP server, a package that will give you an experience of online. Just like when you have data on your system, you can open a browser and enter a website URL, and that takes you to the internet resources. But where you don't have data and you type a website address, what you are going to see on your computer screen will be page not found, because that computer could not access the World Wide Web contents. Now, what we are saying is that we can actually download a package that will serve us as if we are on the internet, that will provide us services as if we are on the internet without us consuming our data. So we refer to that as offline WordPress installation. Now, but that is not the option I am starting with. I will probably end with it because I don't actually like that method. Because when you install your WordPress offline, you are going to elongate the process, because at the end of your local design, you will have to upload again to the server and also configure your database before your website can fully function. But if I consider the remote installation or the automatic installer, as I am building the website, the clients will be seeing whatever I am building. Just like as we are going to proceed now, whatever I will be developing in the course of this training, right from where you are with your phone, you can be accessing it live. So I have just highlighted the two options. Now, if you are going with the online installation, then you must host a website. You must buy a domain, and you must have what we call file space on the internet. In other words, a storage that is purchased, or that you purchase from a web hosting service company. So there are companies that are in charge or that have the singular responsibility to give us that service, to help us host our website. In other words, to help us buy space on the internet for our content, for everyone to be able to access globally. So what is that hosting? Web hosting is a service that allows individuals or organizations to make their website accessible on the internet. That's the keyword, accessible on the internet. So because I could be developing my website locally on my machine, but the whole essence of building website is to make it public to everyone to access. I have never come across a website that the front end is padlocked. The front end is usually what? Free for everyone to access. So for you to make your website public, you need to what? To host. So when you create a website, just to explain further, each file in brackets, such as your HTML, CSS, images, and the video, needs to be stored on a server connected to the internet. I just mentioned local server. So if I am going with the offline installation, it means that my server is not connected to the internet. To be stored on the server connected to the internet. Now, web hosting provides or offer the infrastructure and the services to store this file that we have highlighted and ensure your website is accessible to user globally. So that is the simple way of defining what is what hosting. So just to cap it up, hosting in a layman term means what? Buying a domain and a So I was trying to summarize what is web hosting before I move to my next slide. So I said hosting, web hosting means buying a domain name and space on the internet for storing your website files. A domain is an address, a uniform address. That is why it is called URL, a uniform address. So the word URL means uniform resource locator, a single address or a uniform address that everyone can use to locate your content on the internet, irrespective of their country, irrespective of their location. So web hosting means you are buying that address and also the space where you are going to store your content that you are making public for everyone to see. So that takes us to the next slide. So on my next slide, I want to talk about the key features of web hosting so that we know how it works. So when you are buying all these, what you are actually paying for are server space, like we are going to see tonight, server space. So when you hear a developer telling a client that I am supposed to charge you 1 million, but because I am going to host your website for 1 year, that developer is talking about what? The extra cost of buying what? Space for you outside his charges for developing the website for you. So server space. And what is server space? Storage for website what? File and data. They will also have what we call bandwidth rather. Bandwidth is part of what you are hosting. It's part of what you are buying. And what does that mean? Allows data transfer between the website and the visitor. For example, now from your end, your device, when you type www.digitechz.com.ng, you are the visitor. Now, the what we call FTP, FTP, File Transfer Protocol. That is a rule that transfer content from one machine to another within the internet. So the moment you type this company website address on your browser, then there is an engine which is already, once that engine finds internet or data, it will automatically what? Request. It will send a request to the hosting server. That is what the company you hosted the website with. It will now send a request to them that I need this particular organization content on my browser. So once the request is approved, then the other end, the internet, the server where the person must have hosted the website will now what? Send the content to you. And then you will now see the content on the browser page. So each time you log into a website, each time you type a website address on the browser and you hit the enter button and then you see content, it means your request has been approved by the what? The server. And the server where you have stored your file have reciprocated, have what? Returned the what? Their content to the visitor. So I hope you understand that explanation. Now, when you are hosting, you are also buying what? Domain connection. Domain connection, which links your website to a registered domain name. For example, this is the simple syntax of how a website address looks like. www.uwebsite.com. Now, I want to quickly take a moment to break this website syntax. The www stands for World Wide Web, which is the internet protocol that I mentioned that governs how content are transmitted from one location to another, how content travels within the world, the internet world space. Now, after the dot is called period in programming. The dot is called period. So what separates the protocol from the location? So after the dot, what follows is the location. The location is where the website contents are hosted. So the moment this protocol, the engine, is activated, it will now send the request to this what location and then output the content. Now, the last part of the website, which ends with .com, simply means what? Domain extension. So what we mean by domain extension? Domain extension is what informs you and I what type of website is it. Is what also informs us the kind of activities that can actually be carried out when you visit that website. So let me quickly run through some commonly used domain extension. Now, whenever you see a website address ending with .com, it simply means what is a commercial website. When you visit such a website, you can actually do business. Facebook.com, Yahoo.com, Gmail.com, or Google.com. They are all business websites. They are all open for business. You can never see a church website ending with what? .com. You can never see an NGO website ending with what? .com, because they falls under charity what? Organization or under non-profitable organization. They don't do business. Now, when you see a website ending with .edu, it shows that website is about what? Education, is an educational based organization or website. When you see a website ending with .ng, that is to tell you the country where the service of that company is based. When you see a website ending with .uk, when you see a website ending with what? .net, all these are different what? Domain extension. So before you host a website, you must understand your domain extension. so that you don't go and make mistake and host a church website with .com. Definitely, you are going to refund the money. But there's a way you can actually communicate to your hosting company to either change the URL or refund your money, because most of them these days, they refund money only if you are able to substantiate the reason why you are asking for the refund. Now, when you are hosting a website, you are also paying for what? Uptime guarantee. You are ensures your website is available online most of the time. So what you are paying for, actually, you are paying for a service for them to keep your website on all the time, even when you are sleeping, when you are snoring at night, your content are there. People are exploring your website. Why? Because you have paid for the service. Then when you are hosting a website, you are also paying for technical support. What do we mean by technical support? Technical support is when you are having issues, maybe when your website is not loading, maybe when there is network downtime or whatever issue that could arise. They will take their own time to rectify it for you, to rectify it on your behalf. It's part of what you are paying for. Now, you are also paying for email hosting. It's part of what we are going to learn, how to set up what? Webmail. Those mail that you see info at, not Gmail, not your name, not prosper at Gmail. They are website mail. It's part of what you are going to learn how to set up. So when you are hosting, you are also automatically hosting mail. That is, you can create unlimited mail for your staffs. So instead of them using the conventional email application, they can leverage on the webmail, which is more official. Okay? Now, I want to believe you are all following. Please, I need a response from at least one person before I move to the next slide. I need a response, please. Is either you unmute and respond or you use the message section, please. Okay. Royalty said, I am with you. Thank you.
I'm with you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get more response, please. I want to make sure that everybody is carried along, please. I'm with you.
I'm with you.
I'm with you. Thank you.
Even though my network cut off a
Okay.
little bit.
The most important thing is that my network should be stable, because it's part of what you are paid for, to make sure that you also pay for the service. This is technical support. Don't worry, the video will be available, but just make sure that you keep trying. And our advisor, you can actually join with if your laptop is giving issue, just switch towards your phone. All right, now let's proceed quickly. So my next slide, I want to talk about type of web hosting. Type of web hosting. Why I am giving us all this information, so that you will not have issue with your clients. From experience, just like what Ms. Ayo said, I've been in the field for 19 years now, and I can tell you the challenges you can face after hosting a website, which I'm still going to highlight. So part of it is that you must know the type of hosting so that you don't go and waste your money. So we have share hosting. Share hosting means what? Multiple websites share the same server. And this is mostly affordable and suitable for beginners, where you can just host a kind of multiple website, and then you can now, it's cheaper anyway, because the way it works, just like when you are buying your data. When you are buying 100 gig, the cost is more affordable when you are buying like 10 gig, because if you calculate 10 gig in that 100 gig, the money will not be times 2. So we have I will just highlight them. There are things you can actually research on so that we can get to the practical aspect before the 10 p.m. we have planned to close for this session. So The second type of hosting is what? VSP, which means what? Virtual private what? Service. A virtual server, a virtual server within a shared environment, offering more resources. There are some companies that actually what ask for this type of hosting. How it will be hosted is none of your business. When you are hosting, you place your order, what you want. All what matter is for you to understand the implication of selecting what any of these options. That is the reason why I have to bring them to highlight them so that you can be guided. Now, dedicated hosting, a server exclusively for your website, offering maximum performance and customization. Cloud hosting, utilize multiple servers to ensure high reliability and scalability. Manage hosting. The hosting provider handles the technical aspects like updates, backups, and security. Then we have e-commerce hosting, specialized hosting for online stores with tools like what? SSL, certificates, and payment gateway, which is part of what we are going to learn. Now, let's quickly look at the popular web hosting provider. So we are gradually gravitating to the practical aspect now. So make sure that you pay attention here. Popular web hosting providers, so that you choose. We have Bluehost. Now I mentioned them without their full URL. It means that the address for the Bluehost is www.bluehost.com. So if I want to search for Google Host, it should be entered on your browser as www.googlehost.com. Hosting Gator, DreamHost, Web Engine, and WordPress hosting. So these are some of the most used hosting company. We have Hostinger. There are new ones that are coming on board. So, but the idea is that anytime you want to host a website, Google is there as your friend. All you need to do is to go to Google and type what? Web hosting company. You are going to see a whole lot of them. But sir, how do I know which ones are scammer? Because many of them can actually what? Defraud you. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful when you are choosing your hosting company, your ISP, your internet service provider. You have to be careful. That is why I will recommend the ones I have confirmed. So you can start with that, and then later on you discover others. I have used Bluehost, is one of the ranked #1 hosting company in the world. Their services are very superb. Now, they are international-based hosting company, but they are very expensive. They trade in dollars. If you don't have certain payments, certain accounts, let's say MasterCard or certain other payment gateway, you may not be able to transact with them. But recently, they are trying to integrate with what? Your Paystack, which is the Naira, which is the Africa payment gateway. So that is just the application. It's very expensive, but their service are very good. Then Google Host is also international, but marketed by a Nigeria company. They are now called Go54. It was initially called Google Host. Another company purchased it over, and then they named it what? Go54, but they inherited all the liability and the assets. So and so on. So that will not take us towards steps on how to host a website with all that I've explained so far. Now, to host a website, we go to the slide to consider the steps. Web hosting step. So I click on my slide. So this is where I have listed I have summarized all the steps that are going to be involved for us to host our website tonight. The first step is we are going to choose a hosting provider. Like I just mentioned, I'm going to choose whether I'm going to host with Bluehost or I want to host with Google Hosts. Once you have identified the hosting provider, the next step is for you to select a hosting plan. I am summarizing this because I may not talk about them by the time I start walking us through the practical aspect. So that we assume that we have already registered what the steps. You select a hosting plan. A hosting plan simply means what? It's just like when you want to buy data from MTN. There are different plans. You either choose you want to buy 1 gig or you want to buy 2 gig. That is what we mean by what? Hosting plan. And each of these available plans, depending on the company you choose, have different benefits attached to them. If you are choosing 12 gig plan, that is what? A hosting package that will allow you to upload up to 12 gigabyte file in the allocated storage. Then, or a hosting plan that will allow you to create unlimited email, unlimited webmail. So these are some of the benefits. As when we get there, you will see the advantages between selecting one hosting plan over the other. Now, number 3 step, you are going to register a domain name. A domain name, which simply means what? The URL you want to use, the uniform address that everyone can always use to access your content on the internet. You are going to choose it. Sir, what about if I am building a website for a client? How do I get the domain name? To consult the client is a must. You don't choose the domain name on the client's behalf, please. It's very important. You need to consult the client. In fact, you need to give the client some example. For example, you tell the client that what I mean is that something like this, www.mtn.com. Now, though you will be the one to guide the client on whether it's to be what? .com, like I've explained earlier on, or .ng, or .edu, or .org, which represents what? Organization. So you explain to the client that this is what I'm talking about. This is a uniform address that everyone will type on their browser and then the internet, or for them to access your content. So the client needs to be aware of it. So hosting means you are going to, or one of the steps, you are going to register a domain name. This is number 3 step. Now, configure your hosting account is one of the steps. We are going to configure our hosting what? Account. You are going to see all that. Then you are going to upload your website file. And then, of course, we are going to install our software, which is the WordPress. It's optional. Now, let me break this down. There are some steps we are going to omit based on the method we are using. Remember, we are using WordPress. Because we are using WordPress, we are not going to upload our file. You will upload file when you are using programming like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and the rest of them. Because right now you are locally building your website in your system. When you are done building it, you are going to upload the content to this server that you are buying as one of your hosting package. But because we are using WordPress, we are going to escape this and then probably what? Jump towards step number 6. And then, of course, when you are through, you confirm. Now, let's quickly go to our browser now and implement all these steps. Now, WP installation. So I'm coming back to this after we have done hosting. So I will minimize and then go to my browser. So you can be noting down your step, but if you know you are going to be distracted, since you are going to get the recorded video, you can pay attention. But if you can write fast, as I am going with the step, fine, but make sure that it doesn't distract you. But I would advise you to just pay attention. And then later on, you sit with the video, you pause it, and make your note. That is the best way to learn on this kind of platform. Now, I am here. The first thing I am going to do, I am choosing who go host. The reason is that I have used Google Host for years now. Like I said, is a Nigeria base, but they are not the founder. They are like franchise. They are like representing whois.com. So whois.com is one of the oldest hosting company in the whole world. Most of these hosting company, they are from Whois. So what they are doing is that they are standing like, like a third party. They are representing them in Nigeria here. So when you purchase a domain from them, don't think that is a Nigeria domain. Nigeria does not have anyone for now. I believe we are still working in progress. We will get our own soon. Don't worry. Now, they are only representing that global world organization. Now, how do you assess it? Why you are seeing all this? Because I have recently visited all these locations. Well, in your browser, when you launch it, you are not going to see this. So the right way is for you to go to your browser address location bar and simply type www.googlehost. So I press enter. So you can see they said they are number what? Number one web hosting company in Nigeria. And they are correct from my experience. As far as Nigeria is concerned, they are number one. Now, there is something we are going to do here. Anytime you want to host a website with any company, either Bluehost or Google Hosts or GoDaddy, all these are different word hosting companies. You need to start by having an account with them. That account will offer you a dashboard. The dashboard is where you can actually monitor as a developer all the websites you have hosted for your clients. The dashboard will allow you to analyze, or we analyze when the website you hosted will expire, so that you can put a notification to your customer on time. So it is from the dashboard you will now be telling them that, please, your websites will be renewed next month. How did you know? From the dashboard. So we are going to start by creating an account. I have created an account, so I am not going to go through that. So I will just get to where I'll get to a particular point, and then I will exit. But I will make sure that that point is a point where you can start it and finalize it. And then I will now log into my own account and show you how it works. So now you can see some tabs here. You have this currency selection, depending on how you intend to make your payment by the time you finally place your order. Then you go to my account. So from my account, you can see that as soon as I click on my account, it redirected me to the real company that I purchased the Google host. So what we are currently having now is what? Go54, which I have already told us before. Now, I have an account which I have saved my detail in what? The browser cookie. That is why I don't have to what? To impute them. I will just what? Log in. Now, for you that does not have account, you click on what? Register what? New account. So the moment you click on register new account, a form will be prompted. Then you are to fill this form. You start by entering your name, your your last name, your email, your phone number, you choose your country code, your password. Please, the password and the email you are using here shouldn't be the client detail. In fact, all the information you are entering here should be about you, not the client. Because all your client website, if you develop 100 websites, they are going to be registered under this account. So which means that if I host a URL for a client under my account, the company cannot bypass me and consult another developer. They must consult me. I must release them. I must authorize the new developer for them to be able to use the name. I must transfer the hosting detail to that developer. So that is why I said whatever detail you are supplying here should be limited to only you. So you supply all this, the currency you are going to use. As you are filling all this content, you see all of them. When you are done entering all this information, you click on what? You click on these terms and condition. Once you click, you select what? Sign up. So once you click on sign up, so let me just do a demo. Let's say my name is Eloho, and then my last name is Egwero. Don't mind the name. Egwero. Then the email I want to use, let's say what? prosper.egwero@yahoo.mail.
At yahoo.mail.com.
Then I will put my phone number 070-6966-5919. And then my password. Please, when you get to this aspect of password, make sure you write it down, because if you lost this password, it means that you may not access this, but there is what? Forget password, where you can be asked to supply some detail and then you have the account back. But I will not advise you to plan for that. Make sure you note your password down. Now, what I am doing now, before the next class, every one of you must have registered an account with Who Go Host. Make sure you are paying attention. So I can just choose what? Let me just choose my password to be Eloho1234. And then there is a certain requirement. If it does not accept it, you keep entering it until it accepts it. Particularly where it will be telling you that the password strengths have to be 6-letter, or it must contain a special character like underscore or @ go ahead and go and work with the rule in order for you to have the account. Then you choose the country, and then I will just simply select here, which was selected before, and then click on what? Sign up. So the password field must contain at least one uppercase. This is exactly what I was saying. So I can just click here to see the password. So let me quickly make the E capital letter, and then probably add what? @ here in order to make it stronger. Then I click. Now I believe the email field must be a valid. Oh, okay, that means I make mistake with my email. So okay, let me just make it at gmail.com. So I click. I think this should be accepted. So it's going. Register successfully. Register successfully. Now, if I want to save it in the browser cookie so that next time I want to log in, I don't need to be asked for the password. I will just select what? Save. But if I don't want that, I'll click on what? Never. So now if you select save, I don't want to select this because this is not a valid account. So this is how you can actually create your account with the hosting company. Now, but because I have my account, I want to quickly take us to the dashboard and show us how to work with the dashboard. It's just like when you are given an email account, you learn how to manage the mail by learning how to send messages, by learning how to draft messages, by learning how to delete messages. So that is exactly what I want to show us. And from there, we will now be able to proceed to our WordPress installation. So I click on this account. So let me take off this. Then I will just go ahead with my login detail. So right now I'm logging into my client account where I can always supervise all the websites that are built for clients and the ones that have not expired. So you can see these are the active websites. One of them is what? digitechz.com.ng, which is very active. And all these are different websites that are active. Now, if I go down, now from here, then I will switch to the old version because I prefer working with the old company interface. So I will say has joined the hosting or whatever. I will exit this. Then I will click on switch to the old client area. So what this is simply saying is that, do you prefer the interface when it was Google host, or you want to continue with the new development user interface now that is Go 54? So I prefer the old interface because I am more familiar with it. So I will just click here that yes, switch to that interface. So this is not applicable to other company, like if you are using Bluehost. So depending on the hosting company, if somebody have bought it over, that is when you have to have this kind of 2 or 3 different interface. So I've also stored my login detail in my browser cookie. So I will just proceed, and that will take us to the page, to my dashboard. So from the dashboard, we will now proceed to the cPanel, which is part of what we want to purchase tonight. So while it's loading, I hope we are following. Can I get a response from one person? Are we following? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So now I have been able to log in to my dashboard. And from my dashboard, you can see the breakdown here. I have 4 domains, and I have 3 services.
Yes, I'm following.
Now, what this actually means is that I have 4 URL www dots, but out of the 4 of them, one of them, the space, the storage has expired. And I have 3 of them. I have 3 different storages where I am probably storing my web content. Now you can see all of them. I don't have any unpaid invoice. Once your website is overdue for renewal, this place will show you the number of invoice you are to attend to. And then it will generate the ticket ID for you to pay up that bill. So what you actually do as a developer is to make sure that once in a while, if not every week, you visit your dashboard like this to always know what is happening across all your clients' websites, so that if there is any issue, you can easily notify them. At times, when they are doing some unwarranted activities or maybe transaction within their website, and they send a warning that what is going on that website that you hosted might lead to bringing down or flagging the website. Sometime in your dashboard like this, they must have notified you. Then once you get that notification, you simply what? Call the client and warn the person that please, if you don't desist from this, they might bring down your website. So your dashboard helps you to analyze all the websites you have hosted, all the services you have purchased. Now, from here, you will now click on which one of them you want to manage. But we are not going into that for now. What brought us here is we want to learn how to buy a domain and also a hosting file. That is what? The storage, which I've highlighted in my slide. So once you have an account, you perform the hosting from your account. You cannot host outside your account, so that as you are hosting, all the information about the hosting will be tracked in the dashboard. That is the essence. So from here, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, you can see register what? A new domain. So once you have successfully created an account, then from your account, even if it is Bluehost, any other company, once you have an account with them, you will have a tab that will prompt you to what? That will ask you something like this, register a new domain. Then I will click on register a new domain. Or before we click on that option, supposing as at the time you were hosting, the client did not pay for a particular service after you have hosted, you can come back to this process and then order for that new service. That is what that service will be added to your previous hosts or hosting package. So let's go through what? Register a new domain. So once I click on it, then it will now automatically take me to my client area where I am going to search for the name. It's just like when you want to register a company with CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission. You know, they will first of all ask you to submit your name, the name of your company, to search. They call it name search, to search if no one have used it. Then once they search and they discover that someone have already used that name, they will tell you that what? You should provide another name. So the same thing, we are about buying a virtual company, a virtual space, and that virtual space must come under a company name. Now, I am going to search. Now, any address that is approved under each of these hosting companies cannot be used by another hosting company. What do I mean by that, sir? If, for example, now I have hosted www.digitechz.com.ng. If you are hosting under Bluehost, remember that I hosted that under Google Host, and then you now decide to go to Bluehost. You are trying to be smart. You go to Bluehost and trying to use the same name, my URL. They have a central server. All the websites in the world are connected to what? A central server. So once you are asking for a name to be approved under each of these companies, the company will connect to that global server and check whether anybody have registered that name. So now let's assume that we want to register for the purpose of this class. So I am registering one just for this class, and then you are going to register your own. Like I told us, the money you pay, we are expected to host a package for you. For those of you that are paid completely, we are expected to host a package for you from that money. So we are expected to like use 5,000 in that money to buy this for you, to practice for 1 month. So now, let's assume that I'm hosting for this class. I'm asking them to verify whether this name can be used, www.green Nigeria. .com. Now, when you are hosting your domain name, please, if it ends with .com, it will be more expensive because they know that what you are for business. Your website is for commercial purpose. Now, if I hit my enter here or search, now let's see what is going to say, whether this name is available. You can see that what greennigeria.com is not available. It means someone have already used it. So you have to keep changing your name until it's accepted. That is why a client cannot just wake up and tell you it must be this name. You tell him that, okay, I will search and find out if this name is available. But if it is not available, then you may have to what? Change the name. So you now come here like this and then search and get back to the client that I have searched and the name is not available. Now, the name may not be available with .com, but it can be available with what? .ng. So if I add .ng to it now and search again and see whether it's available with .ng. So it's still not available. Okay, still searching. So let's wait. Once it's available, you will get a congratulations message. Now, this is not also available. Now, let me change it. Let me change here to this funny name. Okay, let's say what? Class.com first. So I will search with just .com and see. Class should be a popular word. I hope I know it will not be available. So let me just say, can anybody give us a funny name? Can you unmute and give us a funny name?
msc.com.
I know you are the one. msc.what.com. Okay, let's check. msc.com is available. Popular. Somebody have used your name. Okay. Can I get another name, please?
Digitex Hub. That one is okay.
Okay, DG what? Digitech what? Hub, Abby? Okay, let's see whether this will go. Hey, you can see all these names have been used.
Hello.
Somebody give us a name. Give all those your Igbo name. Okay, let's use traditional name. Let's say Edejoro.com. If somebody have used this, it means that I have to sue that person. Congratulations. You can see that what Edejoro.com is available. Now, somebody audio is contradicting. Please, can you kindly mute yourself? Who is the person? Okay, thank you very much. Now, I want us to observe something here so that you know the value of this different extension. Edejoro, www.edejoro.com, it means that I am going to pay 24,000 naira for a year to bear this address. That is what it means. Someone audio is still distracting. Who is the person?
Please, Prince Jason, please mute your mic.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, what you are seeing here means that what? If you are going to bear this name for 1 year, for users to type on their browser www.edejoro.com for 1 year to bear that name is going to cost you 24,000 naira. It means that after 1 year, you have to renew it. So you need to understand this so that your clients will not have issue with you. Because if you did not give proper education to your clients, don't be surprised when they will be arguing. When the website is down after 1 year, they will start calling you and start shouting that my website is not coming up. And then by the time you find out, you discover that what the money you pay has expired. By the time you go back to them, you put leg in one trouser. That is why before you conclude your transaction, your negotiation, let them know whether it's going to be 5-year hosting or 2 years hosting or 1 year hosting. But basically, most platforms will start from 1 year. Then if you want to go for more than 1 year, then you contact them specially. Now, the moment I add Nigeria, let's say this person does not have this money and he wants me to reduce the money. So I will say, okay, let me add .ng. Once I add .ng and I search again, what will happen to how our Naira is depreciated or the value of your country? So what is going to happen now is that the value of your country is what will determine the price now. Let's hold on and see.
Network, don't disturb.
Let's hold on for it. It's network.
So let me just drive it with another tab. See. Let's hold on for it.
So what I'm trying to explain here is that if your URL end with .com, it's more expensive than when it carries a specific country extension. If you type egwero.com.uk, the price will change. If you type .ng, the price will also change. And that is what we are waiting for now.
So let's hold on for it. So let me check my connection. Refresh the page. Okay. Please allow me to switch the network. That doesn't I'll be back. I think I am back now. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so it took me back to. Okay, let me just quickly research and see if it will bring it. www.edegero.com.ng. Remember, it was 24,000. Let's see if it's going to reduce it. I think I have to change my network. I thought Edegero was available the other time, or is there anything that? Okay, so let me just add 2 to it. I think on my topic card, maybe it will have captures it, but let's see. This server is misbehaving. Okay, let me look for another name. I need to verify that. Let me say peter.com. We need to understand this stage before I proceed. Hope it's not network. Let me see. Okay, so please let me just switch my network and see. Just give me a minute. I'm still on the name. Let's try and rectify it. There's your wrong. I believe it was network because we have not purchased that name. Okay. 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 Let me say. Somebody should
So I
give
tried
first name. I should try what?
best man.
Best man.
Best man.
Okay. Bestman.com. Bestman.com. Let's see. Bestman.com is not it's not available. Okay, let me
You had
just
to use truck driver.
What?
Truckdriver.com.
No, it's available, I think.
That one should be available. Let me just add I. I just added I to it and see whether. Okay, so this is available. Now, like I was trying to explain, let me add .ng because I wanted us to understand this. If your client does not mind, because if they go with this, it means that they are going to spend much if it's just .com. So let me just see how it will reduce the costs. So once you cost them with .com and they are like, the price is too much, then you suggest .com.ng in order to reduce the price. That's what I'm trying to confirm here. I really want it to be confirmed so that we'll understand how it works. Don't know why it's. I think it's .ng that is having issue with. Okay, so let's proceed. So let's assume that we are going with the ng. You can try it from your end. During your practice, try and add ng and see how the price will come down as another option. Now, supposing you are good to go with this, you have the money to pay. You click on add to cart. So you can see that it is added. Then you scroll down. Once it says it's added, then you click on, let's see, there's any information that you are expected to fill. Now you scroll down and select continue. And you can see that here is highlighting that you have selected what? One domain. So I'll click on continue. And that will now take us to the plan that I talked about. Remember all the steps that are highlighted. I am carefully following all the steps. So where we are now is we are trying to buy a domain name. So you can see what we have here now, bestman.com. And it says no hosting, which means that if you go with this without clicking on this option, you have only purchased the URL, which is www, but you have not purchased the container that will be holding your design. So when user type www, the browser will load and it will not output any content to them because you purchase only address, but you did not purchase content. It's just like you purchase an empty house and you did not purchase what? Information. So when somebody opens that empty house or empty room, the person sees what? Nothing. So if you want to remember, I told us from the beginning that web hosting involves you buying an address that can take everybody to your content. And then you are also buying the space where you are going to be storing the content. So once you click here now, it will now take us to the hosting plan as one of the steps that I highlighted, where we are going to be choosing what's our space or the amount of space and other necessary benefit attached to each of them. So let's wait for each to load. Now this is where we have our plans like that I mentioned in the slide. So you can see Premium 8 gig, Linux share hosting, 2005 monthly. What it means is that for you to have your content stored under that URL, that is going to cost you 24,000 in a year. You have to pay what? 2005 monthly. Now, if you now want to know how much will you now pay for that storage for an entire year, you multiply the 25 by 12. Then whatever value you get, you add it to that 24,000. That is your hosting. That will be running into, let's say, 30-something thousand. So that is why when you are negotiating, like I always do, I will just tell the client hosting is 70,000 for 1 year. If it's going to be what? .com. So if it's not up to that 70,000 plus and minus, I should be the one to what? To gain, not to lose. Because at the point you are negotiating, where you have not actually explained the different extension that will determine the prices, and you don't want to give the client time that I'm coming back to give you feedback. So you just give a random charge and make sure that even with that, make sure that you charge an amount that no matter how, you will not what? Lose. So now, if I want to proceed, look at the plans here. Each of the plan, they listed the benefits. If you are going with the one of 8 gig space, it means that if you click on that your root folder, for those of us that are learning the manual one, if you click on that your root folder or you right click on it and select property, it will analyze the storage volume. Then if you highlight it and it is 9 gig, let's say all the images, all the video, all the code you have written have run into like 9 gigabyte space. What it means is that if you are hosting, you go for what? 15 gig and above. You can't go for 8 gig. So the volume, the content of your design determines what? Which of this storage you pay for. So this one is known as the basic. So as you can see, this package is ideal for standard sites with low traffic. What is traffic? How many people will be accessing the resources at the same time? How many people will log in? How many people will be pulling the content from that storage at the same time? If the traffic is going to be high, like all these NigerBet websites, that you see a lot of people at the same time, pulling resources from their website. So they can't even consider what? 8 gig. They cannot even go for 15 gig. Most of them will go for what? Something higher, or even what? Unlimited. Unlimited. So each of them that you choose, each of them offers you what? Free security, this SSL, that is forgotten the full name, that is but security, this padlock that you have on your web page when you log into a website. Unlimited email account, unlimited what? SQL database, unlimited what? PHP, and what? CG what? Enable. Now, let's assume we are going with this. Then I'll click here. So once you click, it will now re-summarize the costs and give you a new bill, because it's going to add this 2005 to the initial domain name, which was 24,000. Now from here, it's asking you to choose a domain, but you have already registered one. You say what? Register a new domain, transfer your domain from another registrar, like I mentioned before. I will use my existing domain name. So once you click here, it will bring out what we are supposed to have here by default, supposed to show that particular URL that we enter, that www.bestiman. That's supposed to be shortlisted here. And then we just continue what? With use. So what I will advise us to do is to take this step on your own so that we can get to the WordPress installation. It's something you can actually do on your own from where I stop now. Let me see if I go back and see whether we did not check something. Let's see if it's something that I can easily debug. Because definitely I'm not going to continue with this. I am going to create another one, probably before the next class. The one that will be able to lower the price from that 24,000. That's why I don't want to waste my time getting to the end of it. Let me go back one more step.
The internet is disturbing. All right, so what we are going to do is that I will just log into already hosted account. So
okay, so this is what I was actually expecting. So this is supposed to give us the quotation as quotation of 24,000 plus that 2,005 for 1 month, and then to give us the total. Then once we click on agree here and then click on check out, it will take us to the payment gateway where you choose whether you want to pay with Paystack or you want to pay with any other one. So I will leave that. In our next meeting, I will quickly complete that because after all, I don't want to go with that name that is costing us 24,000. So in our next class, I am going to start with that. I will have searched for a name that is acceptable before that class so that once we start, I will just go through it and then pay for it while we are all seeing it. But because of our time, because I want to see how I can also end the class at least 10 minutes past 10. I don't want to exceed 10 minutes past 10 so that we can get to the schedule of today. Because today we plan to cover hosting and how to install the WordPress. Then we'll stop there. So the next class, we can now start building the contents of the WordPress theme we must have installed. So quickly, for me to go there, I'll come back here. Continue with this.
anyone that takes me back faster.
Okay, so from here, I want to log into my cPanel. Now, ordinarily, the best way to log into your cPanel is to open a browser. What I'm saying is that once we succeed paying for the domain name and the hosting file, an email will be sent to us, sent to that email that you provided when you were creating that account before you were given the dashboard. Then the email will be your hosting file, and that hosting file will contain your ID and your password. Now, once you receive that email, we are going to find out in the next class. Once we complete that registration, we are going to see all that. But I'm just trying to explain it because that is what I'm going to do now. Now, you open a browser because they will send you your back end. They will send you an email. That back end, it is from there you'll be able to access your WordPress. So if you don't receive that mail that confirm that you have paid for a domain name and a hosting file, they will not send you that email. Now let's assume that I've received that email. So for me to log into my control panel, which is cPanel, I have to go to a browser and type the full website URL, which is what? www.digitez.com.ng, then slash, you say what? cPanel. This is how you can actually enter your website backend. The users, if you want to go to the website front end, you stop at ng. So this is what you give to the users. But you as the admin, whenever you want to go to the back end to perform those sensitive activities, you what? You add the cPanel. So once I type that cPanel and press enter, it will redirect me to a login page, which is called what? cPanel. Then from here, I'll type my username and then type my password and log in straight. So I have all this information in my email, and because I usually go through my client dashboard, which I am going to go through now, what I'm saying is that let's assume that you have forgotten your password here, your user ID and your password. Which other way can now access my backend? So you access your backend from this client dashboard. So from here, the interface I will have accessed if I'm able to type my username and my password. Since I cannot access them now, I will access it from here. From here, once I get to my dashboard, I will locate that particular website I'm trying to go into it back end, and then like this, then trace it, select what? Manage. So once you select manage, it will now take us to another interface where we will now see this particular control panel and click on it and automatically take us to where we will now be able to set up our WordPress. So let's see how it goes. If the internet continues to be slow, then we might just stop here and then continue from where we stop in our next class. Make sure you don't exit before the closing time, because there might be important information that may be passed across, so I don't miss that. Now you can see as I click on that manage, you see it brought me here. This is actually what I'm trying to access here, that probably I don't have the password. So I now know, okay, since I have a dashboard, so I can from the dashboard access the control panel. So from here, I click on the control panel. So at this point, I have to start closing some of these tabs so that they don't confuse me. So let me remove this one that we're trying to use, so we can focus on the one we are in. So that automatically brings you here. So this is the full back end you have been hearing. I want to learn front end and back end. This is the administrative section of a website you are hearing, which the user does not have access to. This is like the how do I call it? The bedroom, which your visitor does not have access to. So quickly, let me walk us through this. Now that is taking us to WordPress installation now. If I go back to my slide, that is taking us to WordPress installation. Because now it is assumed that we have hosted and we have purchased the URL, and we have also purchased the storage, and they have sent us our cPanel. Now we can now proceed to install WordPress using this method. Remember, I was explaining the offline method. Now, and I said we also have another way of installing WordPress, which is called automatic installation, one-click installer. What it means is that you are installing WordPress directly in your purchased server, not the free local server, not the one that when you are done designing, you will now start manually uploading and configuring what? Your back-end database. And if you are going through this installation, like I said before, anything you are developing, your user will be seeing it, sorry, your client will be seeing it live. So we also refer to it as what? Live installation. So I have summarized the step here. So because of time, I will just switch from here and go back and observe all these steps. Now, once you log in, for you to install WordPress using that automatic method, number one step, you purchase a domain, which we have done by assumption. Then two, you log into your cPanel, where we are now. So these are cPanel. Our cPanel is broken into sections. We have the email management feature. We have the file management section. We have database. All these, we are going to go through them. We have the domain. We have the metrics. This is where you can check your visitors. In case you want to know how many people have visited your website, you can always find that here. Then we are going to where we have WordPress. This is it here, under software category. That is where you have WordPress. So from here, I will click on WordPress. Just make sure you are following. Once we have been able to install for everybody in the next class, you will be able to go through this by yourself. I'll give us time. Everybody will go through this. It's a very simple step. Now, as soon as I click on the WordPress software, and there is a, if you go to my slide now, let me just highlight it briefly. I mentioned what? A software, Subtaculous, which was that software that we click. They are the manager of WordPress in what? Your domain. Now, this is the Desig installation. In other words, I built that website, or the Desig was built with what? This particular word was built with WordPress, not the manual coding method. Now, we are adding another installation to this. So, which means that we want to give an extension. It's just like you rent a shop as the owner, and you are giving space to another person to trade within your shop. So which means that the person must first of all go through your shop before he gets to his or her shop. But if you want to be the owner of the shop, then you have to perform that hosting we are doing so that you don't go through anybody. Now we click on install fresh copy. So once you click on this install, it brings you here. Please, I want us to pay attention because after this, I'm ending the session. Now, once you click on that install, it brings us here. Now, this is a form we are expected to fill accurately for to get results. Now, this HTTPS, look at it, your installation. You can see the reason why the Desig does not have the key if you log in, because at the time I was installing it, I forgot to select the one that have S, which means what? Security, which I am going to rectify. Now, if you are selecting this, it means that it will have what? Security feature. Now, this is the URL which cannot be edited. That is, you must install WordPress through a hosted URL, through a hosted address. Now, here is directory. Where are you installing the WordPress? In that back end that we just left. Now, we want to install it in a folder called what? WP. What it means is that for a user to log into this website, is going to type www.digitz.com.ng/WP before he can get to the shop, the extension I am giving to the person. Then me as the owner of the site, I will stop at what? NG. So which means that what? From my own shop, I'm giving what? Space to another customer. That is what it means. Now you choose your version. Which version are you installing? There will always be automatic what? Updating the version. So each time you are installing, it will always highlight the highest version. So don't bother choosing here. Always know that what is already on what? The highest version. Now, once you have settled this section, you go to the next section that says what? Site setting. Under site setting, you specify your site name. The client you are building this website for, you ask the person, what is your company name? If it says what, Green or Nigeria Green Limited, you change it. This can always be modified later from our WordPress dashboard. Nigeria Grains Limited. Let's assume this is the company name of the person you are building this website for. Then you now come to your password, your admin. Now you need to also write down just two things, because the next time I want to edit, I want to customize this website, this WordPress we are installing, I don't have to start going through the control panel. I will just type in my admin detail and automatically take me to WordPress dashboard, where I'll be building, where I'll be posting the content as my back end, as my WordPress back end, which is not this root back end. So each time I want to update a particular content in a page, I go to the WordPress backend and update it. Now, you need to write your admin name, your username. So me, I always leave it at admin, because it's very easy to remember. Then you enter your password. So let's say the password is pass123 4 and then @ So once you type it and it shows good or strong, then I want to make it strong. Let me add underscore to it so that it will be strong. Always make sure that is strong. So somebody should help me to write down this password. Now, when you are working on your system, you store this information. You copy them. You simply call a notebook, maybe Microsoft Word, and be storing them. But somebody should help me to write this. I will ask for it in a moment. Then write username, admin, and then admin password, pass123 4 @ I believe somebody must have helped me to write down that. Can I? Okay, good. MST. Thank you. All right. Now, always make sure that your password is hidden to avoid hackers hacking easily into your back end. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to describe this business. What are they into? It's called tagline. Because at the end of the day, we are going to learn Google SEO, which means Google search engine optimization. So that whenever anybody is searching for a product that I publish in my website, Google can rank me. Google can list my product for them to easily contact me. Now, your tagline, which is your company description, matters, because that is what Google use to shortlist your company or your service for those that are researching for a product that relate to what you have in your webpage. So you have to be creative about this. Now, Nigeria Grace Limited, what are they into? Let's say they are into web development. So anytime anybody is searching for web development, or anytime they are typing and they mention web development, Google is going to list your company as one of the options. So this is what really happens each time you go to Google and search for information. So based on the keyword you are using for the search, Google will look for websites where that keyword has been used. Then Google will now refer you to that website that you could get something related to this from all these websites that I've listed. Now, that is the meaning of this. However, I said you can always change this. We are going to see how we can modify all this, even after this installation, directly from our WordPress dashboard backend as we proceed with the class. Now, there are some things you shouldn't touch, but in case you want to know what they are, which are not compulsory, you just tap on this. This feature will enable multi-site option for your WordPress blog. If you are going to be working with a blog page, if your website will have a blog posting page where people can interact, like a forum, where people can discuss, then you can add it. They are actually optional. Then disable WordPress cron. WordPress cron is just like an advertisement that controls An advertisement is a kind of plugin that control, as you can see here, if selected, WordPress cron will disable what? And a cron job will be added. Now, it's very simple. Most of these terms, they are technical terms. You may not really understand all of them. But you know what? If you go to Google now and ask, because you must always work with Google, every WordPress developer or even the programmers, or whether you are using programming language, you must learn to work with Google. Anything you don't understand, you ask. You are going to see how we are going to be building this website, even writing all our content with ChatGPT. So the technology has gone above you trying to, rack your brain to know what to say. You are going to see how we are going to deploy ChatGPT to customize information to describe all our pages information. Now, anything you don't understand, just go to Google and ask. But like I said, they are optional. They are not compulsory. If you want them, fine. Now, the next part you need to consider is what? The admin email. So each time you host a website, there is an automatic system email assigned to your hosting package, which in this case, it is admin@digitechz.com. So you can't change it. It's default. They have already assigned it. That is why later on we will not create our own and say what? info@digitechz.com. Because you don't want to release this to outsider. This is just within you. So whatever you are doing within WordPress, the details will be sent to this particular address. Now, we talk about installing theme. What we are actually installing is theme and template. I have explained that before. The theme is just the structure, while the template is the content which we are inheriting that we will now end up customizing to the kind of website we want. Now, all these that are marked, you leave them the way they are. They are all needed in case you want to assign limit password attempts, whereby if you are trying or someone is a security feature actually, if someone is trying to log into your website and once is entering the password multiple times, it should create the number of times the person can try that. Then back up, maybe you would like to back up your program. Now, the WordPress you are installing, in case the website is brought down or for one reason or the other, and then you can always restore from there instead of you designing from the scratch. Now, for the fact that they added Pro, it means that at some point, you might be asked to pay for any of them, depending on how professional you want it. Then you can also turn on these other ones. If you need them, I need them, I will manually turn them on. Then you choose the language you are using for the installation. And then after that, you choose the email, which is the last step, where this installation details will be sent to, confirmation of this installation. Then after that, you cross-check everything first. Always make sure you cross-check. And then after that, you click on install. So once I click on install, it's asking me whether I want to store the details. If I want, I say yes. But if you go off, the installation is ongoing. So once it is completed, it will now give us the WordPress login backend detail. Let's wait for it. So sorry, we will close. All right, so like I said, we are almost rounding up. So make sure you don't leave yet,
because there might be some important information that will be given to us as regards to planning for the next class.
Successfully. Now, once you have installed this, please make sure that you cram this particular line or you copy it like this and paste it somewhere. It could be in MS Word or in a notebook. Now, what we have installed is just the theme. It's just like you have just defined the structure of the house, but you have not added any content. It is the content that we would like to change to our own. So for us to proceed to the stage to install the content, then you now click on this option here. So once you click, it will now take us from the theme to content installation. The next few minutes, the next 5 minutes, we are done. Sorry for extending our time. It is needed for this first class. Subsequent classes, you see that before that 10, we must have even round up. It's not going to take much time. Now, you can see that it automatically brought us towards to the WordPress dashboard. So as it is now, we have not installed theme. We have not installed theme because we check here now, no theme installation. So it's like we omitted a step. We omitted a step. Let me try it again. We omitted a step. We are not supposed to be taken to this automatically. So let me see. Okay. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I want to know what went wrong. Okay, so we are supposed to click. Okay, so let's create a template. So I'm adding template to that particular URL. Which of the URL? No. Okay, so please just a minute. We omitted something. So these are the two installation, the one we installed today. So I want to quickly remove it. I will just run through it with the default information. We miss an important step. Until we observe that step, we will not get content. Please just hold on for a few minutes to be ready. So return this. Okay, so let me just go through the installation again. So this time around, let me use another. It's like I've installed that in that directory before. So I will just assume that my company name is my blog and this and that. I don't want to waste our time. So we need file. Just want to find out the step. Let me just put my password 1234 @_ send to this same email. Then click on install. So let's see what is going to happen. So we can actually install the theme from that particular dashboard, but I needed to know why it did not prompt us. So let me click on this. So if it takes us to the dashboard, then it means that it will be in the next class where we good. Now, I think good. Now you can see it. This is how it's supposed to display. Because this very one that we got now, it means that I have to manually come here and start installing the theme. So from this same installation process, I want to specify my theme, my template. So I'll say what? Get started. So from here, you choose the type of website you want to design. Is it an e-commerce website or is it a portfolio? So everybody that is attending this class will be mandated to build at least a portfolio, a website that describes what you do so that you can start selling yourself online. So let's assume that the website I'm asked to build is for a lawyer or for an event, for entertainment. So these are different categories of website. That is why I told you that there is no type of website in the world that WordPress cannot create. So if it is for e-commerce, somebody should suggest which one should we go? Should we go with e-commerce? One person should suggest. Let me just go with that. Just to know if you are still with me.
Go with sports.
Sports. Oh, they will give us
Yes, sir.
Business.
Oh, they will give us. No, I want to do business because all this sport will not give us a
Let's go with business.
business. Good. So once you click on business, just know that the templates that will be given to you will be related to what? Business. That's what it is. So once you have selected this, you click on continue. Now remember that I did not put my name. I skip it because I was trying to run through the solution again. So if you want to change, fine. But I want to go with what? My blog as my website, what? My company name. I will select what? Continue. Now, once you click on continue, you will see all this. They are very important. This is what? SEO. This is what will make your website visible for every searcher using Google as search engine and all this. So you go through all of them. Some of them have already been activated. The ones that are not activated, if you are going to have an online shop, which is very important, so that you can create all these, you can publish your products and activate payment gateway as one of the topic, what we are going to learn. So let's say I would like what? A product page. So I will activate this and then click on what? Continue. Now, these are the available templates based on the category you choose. You choose business. These are templates that have been customized. You can see that what the layout, for those of us that are coding, you can see that WordPress is about to mess you up now. If you are to develop this, you know how long it will take you. Now, let's assume I am choosing one of these. If I prefer this, so you are expected to browse through any one you want to choose. So if you click on this now, it will ask you to view the demo. That is what, browse it and see how it look like before you install it here, before you proceed by what? Installing the what? Or import the content. So let me just browse it. I will just right click and just select what? Open in a new tab just to see the template I'm about inheriting, to see the house I'm about buying from someone. So, you know, the person will take you through the house, show you all the rooms. This is how it will look like. So you can see. So at the end of the day, if you are okay with the layout, this is the home page. So you can check other page. You can check the responsiveness. Just right click and select inspect and check how responsive it is. You can see you don't need Bootstrap. You don't need all those things here. Once you are building your website on this platform, you can see the responsiveness, perfect. So once I'm done and I'm okay with this, I will now go back to this and select what? Import content. So now I am what? Building the website. I am now dumping the content inside the what? The structure that we have installed earlier on. Once this is completed, that will now bring us to the end. And then the member of this company, I believe she will just make our own aspect very fast and quick. I think she still have some details to give us before we bring the session to an end. But let's all watch the content installation. So once it's successfully installed, I will tell one of you to log in from your end. You will see what we are installing right from your end there. So let's give it time. Any questions so far? Because after this, now I think that's the any question?
Hello, sir.
Okay, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Very well, very well. Go ahead.
The place where you say you add a WP. Hello?
Yes, I'm with
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear
There's
you.
a place where you say you add a WP, like digitech.com.ng.
Yeah, we have actually gone past that stage where you add that is at the point where we were trying to install the team itself. That place where we have
Yes.
site description and the rest of them. Don't worry, we are still going to go through this installation in our next class when we finally install our domain. When we finally purchase our domain, we are going to go through this again. But when the video gets to you, just take your time to go through the video, write down the step, make your notes, so that once we get to that aspect, it will be easier for you to understand. So it's loading. I think let me bring her in if she's still here. Okay, it's moving now. It's moving. Just hold on. It's almost done. Now remember the URL. The URL, what you are going to type there to see what we have installed is this. So somebody should be typing what I highlighted now on his or her phone, and then confirm to us whether you are seeing the content. Okay, Precious, are you still here? Do we still have Precious here? Let me find out. Okay, so she's not here, so it means that she'll give you guys the information probably in the next meeting. So let's just assign patient to see the end of this. Now, you can see that we have successfully installed the theme and the template. Now, if you want to visit the website, you click here, and then you want to go to the WordPress dashboard, you click here. Now, let's say we want to go to the dashboard, you click here, because from the dashboard, we can always access the website. So finally, from here, if I come to this place where you can see my blog, if I select view website, now this is the website. Now I want you to confirm from your end. Somebody should confirm for us before we close. Type exactly what you are seeing here. Type www.digitec or your phone and see whether you're going to be seeing this. Thank you very much. I just need someone to confirm before we end the class.